Guys, so this is going to be the video on 3.2. So we're going to take a look at that, and hopefully this stuff is making some sense. This chapter is all on geometry stuff, so either you guys really, really enjoy it or you really, really hate it. And usually some people struggle on this, so if that's you, don't stress out too much. But hopefully you'll end up doing okay. All right, so the first thing, a polygon is a closed plane figure that contains 3 or more angles bounded by 3 or more straight lines. So the vertex on the polygon is the corner of the polygon. It should be labeled with a letter, such as A, B, C, or D. The sides of a polygon are named after line segments. So this first one, which is a square polygon. Sorry, go back. The sides would be, you know, AD, AB, DC, or CD, or BC. And they always have a little line on them. And then the line segments are a finite portion of a straight line that has 2 endpoints, which are like AB, BC, DC, AD. And then you have a diagonal of the polygon, which are the line segments that connects non-consecutive vertices, such as the AC or the BD. And not every shape has diagonals. So on this question, I want to name, the vertices, the sides, and the diagonals of this. Okay, so the vertices of this would be A, B, C, D, and E. So A, B, C, D, and E. Those are the vertices. The sides, again, you can name these a little differently. A, B, B, C, C, D, D, E, and E, A. Okay, again, you could switch the order of those. And then we have several diagonals. We have A to C. So diagonals are A to C and A to D. We have a few more. We have B to D, and then we have B to E. And then my last one would be E to C. Okay, any questions on that? Hopefully you guys are good on those. All right. The perimeter is going to be the distance around the outside of the polygon, okay? So you have to have all the lengths of the polygon to be able to add up all of the perimeters. And on this question, for some reason, I'm missing a link, so I'm going to put a 10 here. So this one, I would add 2 plus 8.5 plus 2 plus 10 plus 12 plus 10. And when you guys, and I didn't put the inches up there, but you need to always have the units on here. 2 plus 8.5 plus 2 plus 10 plus 12 plus 10. All right, so that's going to be 44.5 inches, okay? Remember, perimeter is just going to be the regular unit. So it's inches or whatever unit. And then if it's an area, your area is always going to be squared. So it's the unit squared. Okay. All right, so here's our quadrilaterals. A parallelogram has 4 sides and opposite sides are parallel. So these are parallel and it's equal in length. A rectangle has 4 right angles and the opposite sides are equal. So this side is equal to this side and this side is equal to that side. And it all has right angles. A square has all the same lengths and right angles. And then trapezoid, these are going to be parallel. And then you have 2 non-parallel sides, okay? So these are all 4-sided quadrilaterals or polygons. All right, the area of a rectangle is always going to be length times width. Okay, so length times width. So if I had a rectangle here, and I said this was, let's say, 4, and this is 2, the area of this would be, and let's just say it's in inches, the area of this would be 4 times 2, which is 8 inches squared. That's how you would write your answer. You can also write the area formula solving for either your length or your width. This is a little bit of algebra skills. So here's our original formula. Let's say I want to solve for L. Well, how do we get rid of the L? Well, these are multiplying, so we divide. So that's where that come from. That's where that comes from. And then let's say we wanted to solve for W, same thing. To get rid of L, we would divide. Okay. Sometimes that may be helpful to use in a problem. All right, here we go. So we have a problem. A rectangular opening 12 inches long must have the same total area as 2 smaller rectangles. Okay, vents that are 6 inches by 4 inches and 8 inches by 5. What must be the width? So I have a big rectangle here, and I know the length of this is 12, but I don't know the width, okay? And then I have 2 smaller rectangles. That is a 6 by 4, and another one that is 8 by 5. And the total of these adds up to this area, okay? So what we need to do is we need to find the area of this one, and find the area of this one, and find the total area, and then we'll set that equal to this to be able to find the width, okay? So how do I do the area of this rectangle? We would do 6 times 4, and this is all in inches, so this will be 24 inches squared. 8 times 5 is 40, right? So then we would do 40 inches squared, and I would add these, and this will give you 64 inches squared. And so now I know that this area is going to be 64. So can I find W? Well, yes, we can. 64 equals 12 times W. How do I solve for W? We would end up dividing it by 12. So therefore, the W is going to be approximately 5.3, approximately repeating. Not a super nice problem, but we could reduce this also. So what's the number that can go into 64 and 12? Well, 4 can, right? So 4 can go into 64 16 times, 4 can go into 12 3 times. So we could also leave it as that. Okay, inches would be our answer. Perimeter. To find the perimeter, we must always add the sides. So if you're thinking of the perimeter for the formula for a rectangle, think about it, right? This would be your length. This is length because they're the same. This is width. This is width. So if you're adding all these up, perimeter would be W plus W plus L plus L. What's a W plus a W? That'll be 2W. And what's a L plus a L? That's 2L. And these are adding. So that's where that formula comes from. All right, so we want to find the perimeter of these rectangles. Well, this is 11, this is 11, that's 12, that's 12. We're going to add all those up. So 11 plus 11 plus 12 plus 12 would be 46, and that's inches. And the same thing for this is 10. This is, you could also leave your answers to this, which would probably be easier. This is 24. 24 plus 24 plus 10 plus 10, which is 20. It's going to give you 68 feet. And then 1.3 meters, 1.5 meters. We want to add all those up. So 1.3 plus 1.3 plus 1.5 plus 1.5. And we get 5.6 meters. All right, if we're finding the area and perimeter of a square, remember a square, all the sides are equal. So this side's the same as this side, so the area would be S times S, which gives you S squared. So that's the area. And then the perimeter, these are all the same lengths. So this would be 4 times S is the perimeter. You can also find S as the length of a side by taking the square root, right? So if you have the area equals S squared, how do we get rid of a squared? Well, in order to get rid of a square, you take the square root. So the square root of the area is the same thing as the side. So if you're trying to find the side and you're given the area, you would just take the square root of it. Okay, that's only for a square though. Area of polygon, a parallelogram, sorry, you always take the base and then it's the perpendicular height. It's not the length of the parallelogram, it's the height of it, okay, which forms a 90-degree angle with the side, okay? And then the perimeter is still the same as what a rectangle would be. And then a trapezoid formula, okay, you're going to do your bases, which are the top and the bottom of it, okay, the parallel sides. You would add the bases and then divide those by 2 and multiply it by the height, which is again the perpendicular height, not the sides. Now for the perimeter, you're going to need to know this side and this side, okay, and they're always going to be the same as well. Well, not always. They won't always be the same. Sometimes they're the same, but not always. And then you would add all those up. So that would be, base 1 plus base 2 plus side length S plus side length S, okay? That would be the perimeter. You can also do your formula. You could take the height and divide it by 2 and then add up your bases and then multiply it that way. So either formula that you guys like better is fine. Okay, so next question. To fence the parallelogram shaped lot shown below, a fence post must be installed every 9 feet along the border of the lot. How many fence posts are needed? Okay. Hint, make sure there's a post at each corner of the lot. All right, so what we have first is we have 90. Okay. Just a second, I'm looking to make sure I've covered everything. All right, so if we want one every 9 feet along the lot, are we talking, if we're talking about a fence around this lot, are we talking about the area of it? Are we talking about the perimeter? Okay, well, think about it. The perimeter is the outside, so that's what we're talking about here. So what we need to find first is the perimeter. And how would we do that? Well, I know this is 90 feet, so this is 90 feet. And I know that it's 81 feet, so this is 81 feet. So how do I find the perimeter of a parallelogram? We add up all the sides. So 90 plus 81 plus 81. And that's going to give us 342. And then if I want to put a post every 9 feet, think about it, every 9 feet I'm putting a post, then we want to divide it by 9, okay? So that means that we should have approximately about 38 fence posts. So that's how you would do a problem like this, okay? Now there's a lot of other examples in your book. I didn't do all of them, so just make sure you go back, and if you want more examples of how to find the perimeter and area of polygons, just make sure you go back in your book and look at more examples. A square hot air duct must have the same area as 2 rectangle ones with the dimensions of a 5 by 8 and a 6 by 4. How long are the sides of the square? So this is a square, and we're trying to find this, but we know that these two added together is going to give you the area of this one. So how would I find the area of this one? Well, this would be 40, right? And this would be 24. It's a similar question to our other one. So 40 plus 24 gives you 64. And so this is this area of that square, okay? So this is 64. Well, remember, how do you find the area of a square? Well, that's S squared equals the area, right? If I know that's 64, then this is going to be S squared. And you can kind of think about, okay, what are the same number that multiply to give you 64? Well, we know that's 8, right? But if I took the square root of this and you plug this in the calculator, the square root of 64 is going to give you 8. So the side length of that is going to be 8. So how long are the sides of the square? 8 inches. Going to put that unit up there. And that is all of 3.2. I will be posting a quiz to go with this unit, so make sure you complete that.